Right, talk about the power of determination, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, ladies, for that incredible panel. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we discover the key traits and strategies that drive success from inspiring athletes. To take us through this absolutely amazing discussion, please help me welcome to the stage Yara Alhogbani, the #1 Saudi female tennis player. Along with her is Razan Al-Ajmi, the first Saudi female skydiver and owner of Saudi Skydive agency. And your moderator, Sally Mousa, a senior presenter at Forbes Middle East.
Hello.
Thank you so much, VOA, and welcome everybody. So wonderful to have you all back here once again for day 2 of the Forbes Middle East Women's Summit. I'm so excited to bring you this session that really promises to redefine how we think about success. Because today we're going to be diving deep into the winner's mindset, a transformative force that turns obstacles into opportunities and challenges into stepping stones. Amazingly, I have 2 groundbreaking Saudi athletes here with me today who have really redefined what is possible in their fields. They embody resilience, adaptability, and an unstoppable drive for results. And the lessons that they are going to be offering really transcend sports, and it is something that every single one of us can use in everyday life. Yara Al-Ajmi, as VOA mentioned, is the #1 Saudi female tennis player. I want to hear bigger cheers for that. Yes. Her incredible journey has already inspired so many in the younger generation to dream big as athletes. And of course, Razan Al-Ajmi, the first Saudi female skydiver and owner of Saudi Skydive agency, who literally soars to new heights and shows us how to leap fearlessly into the unknown. It's amazing to have the 2 of you with us here at the summit. And so Yara, I'd love to start with you. As Saudi's #1 female tennis player, what does it mean to you to have a winner's mindset, and how has that shaped your journey in tennis?
Yeah, so hi everyone. I just want to start off by saying how honored I am to be here amongst such inspirational women, and to thank you all for being here with us today. To answer your question, yeah, I think a winner's mindset is about recognizing the opportunities in front of you and working relentlessly to make the most of them. For me, it's not about my personal victories on the court. It's about representing my country. It's about inspiring others, especially young Saudis, to help show what's possible. Growing up playing tennis, I've learned so much. I've learned resilience. I've learned discipline. I've learned how to embrace challenges as opportunities to improve. And having that mindset has really shaped my journey by keeping me focused on my personal goals while also motivating me to inspire the next generation. So with every match, whether I win or lose, I know it's a part of a bigger mission to elevate tennis and empower the next generation, inshallah. And I know truly well that none of that could be possible without having the winning mindset that I do.
Tennis is one of my favorite sports to watch. I'm a terrible tennis player, but I love watching it, and it's such a mental sport. It is intense. You are alone on that court for hours sometimes, right? There is no one else. It's not a team sport. You can't lean on anyone else in that moment. So how do you train your mind, Yara, to really stay focused, especially when maybe the match is not going your way and you're able to then turn it around?
Yeah, so like you said, tennis is a very individual sport, but it's also a team sport that I don't think many people know. So a lot goes on behind the scenes of a tennis player's life. So every tennis player has a team, whether that's a team that they hire or whether they're lucky enough to have their family as their team. So for me, I'm blessed, alhamdulillah, to have my family as my team. So I have my sister right here recording me in the front. She's like my best friend. She's like my rock. I always lean back on her when I'm having trouble, when I'm too stressed about tournaments, stressed about my personal life. I have her to lean on. I have my incredible father who will travel with me to tournaments, and I have my superwoman mother who is holding the fort down at the house. So everyone plays a little role in my life and in my tennis career. I know it's me on the court by myself, but everyone behind me has made me who I am today, alhamdulillah, and I'm forever grateful for my family. Back to your question about how I kind of get myself through those tough matches. I mean, it's different every time. I try to stick back to my routines and what I know best. So tennis players are very superstitious, so maybe I won't step on the line going back to return the serve, or maybe I'll position my water bottle a different way. So these kinds of things help me feel comfortable and remind me of my routines and what I do on a daily basis, so I'm not nervous in those tight moments.
So it's like your mental note. When you do things like that, it puts you in the state that is going to make you confident to be out there and to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Like at the end of the day, I try to remind myself this is something that I do every day, and it's no different from me doing it today than it is on all the other practice days that I do.
Absolutely. And so, Razan, for you, as Saudi Arabia's first female skydiver, what inspired you to go into that? I mean, you know, forget that women are very few in that field. You know, it's a very niche kind of area, niche sport to begin with. But what inspired you on that journey? And how did you develop the mindset in such a daring field as well?
First of all, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to be here, especially even like with that inspired women, like to present the Saudi sport here in Saudi Arabia. Actually, the things that inspired me to be in a skydiving sport, let's back to when I was a kid. So I used to, like, my father used to take us, like, always to have fun or a free time or something like this to the desert and to camp there between the mountains. So if I want to say, hey, my father, I wanted to play, he will take me to put me in the mountain. So this is your game, this is your toys, so just go and play. Till like 16 years, then I started with the climbing, rocky climbing. So this is like my start in my in extreme sport. Then I'm like an international climbing judge. Then like I have an opportunity from the Saudi Sport Ministry to be with them in a skydiving sport. So in that time, I wasn't have any knowledge about the skydiving. So I told them that, okay, I will join, but if something happened, can I just like take a step back? They said, yeah, you can just. Then I went, I participate on that camp, I try it, then I like it. So after the first jump, when I landed, I went to my coach and I told him that I want to be a skydiver.
What was it about that? Talk us through the feeling of what that meant to you when you did that first jump. What was going through your mind? Were you scared at all? How did that happen? And what did you love about it so much that you were like, I'm doing this, this is it?
So if you ask me what the skydiving means to you now, skydiving is my life. Is not just a sport. So it means a lot because it changed a lot of my life. It's changed a lot of my personality. The feelings that I always feel, it's hard to say it in words because it's amazing feeling. So I'm flying in the sky. I'm just using my body. I feel the wind. I don't think about anything. I'm just in the sky. I feel the wind. I fly.
Do you feel like I've never done it, by the way? I love things that happen high, like zip lining and all of that, but I've never tried skydiving.
You have to try it.
Okay, all right. I'm going to get you to take me. How about that? But is it feeling, do you feel like a bird? Is there any fear in your mind at all? What is it?
So the first thing that I feel when I go out from the plane, like a jump, like from the first time, the first thing that I feel is the wind. And my first jump was here in Saudi Arabia. So it was above the Red Sea. And that was an amazing thing. I'm in the sky, I see the sea, the Red Sea, and it's like a 3D, not from the plane, like I see it like in a reel. So this is really an amazing thing. This is jump, it was 5 years ago, but I remember every single details on this jump. It's like a freedom.
And you were like, that's it. I'm going to make it my life. I'm going to own a skydiving agency.
Yes.
I'm going to do it. And so do you help other people get over their fear of doing it?
Yes.
How do you do that?
So usually, let's start with myself. I felt scared a lot. And
do you?
Yeah.
And so how do you deal with that?
So from the beginning, especially the first 20 jumps, from the first jump, I wasn't scared because I don't know what's going to happen.
Because
it's like no knowledge about this one, about this jump.
Yeah.
So after the third or the fourth jumps, I started to be scared. And like this happened to me, like I was standing on the exit of the plane, and I just saw my coach. Then I said, I cannot do it. Then I turned back. Yeah, and that was it was really like not nice feeling, because I felt like it's a fail.
You felt like you failed.
Yeah.
And so then how did you get over that feeling? How do you train your mind?
So it was really like struggling with myself, because I want to make it, but in the same time, I'm so scared.
Yeah.
But I want to make it. So like the feeling that I want to make it, it was like more than when I was like scared. So I say, okay, I will do it. I know if I will do it this time, it will not happen again. But if I stayed in the same, like in my place and not to jump, I will never jump again. So I was afraid of this, to not jump again.
You were afraid of missing out
Yeah.
on that incredible feeling once again. And so is there something that you say to yourself? How do you get yourself into the mindset to go when you don't want to do it?
On that situation?
Yeah, and so many of us, we have situations where we might be afraid to do something, and we have to get over that hurdle. So what do you say to yourself?
The first thing that I was listening to myself, I was crying, so I let myself cry. And I wasn't to say, no, I'm strong. No, I was listening to myself. I really felt this scared. I really felt that situation, feelings. I let myself go with this feeling. So when I went with this feeling, I understand how can I go out from this feeling. So this is like really helped me a lot in extreme sport, not just in skydiving, even in my life. So I let myself go to this feeling, to feel it, then I'll try to find a way, how can I go out from it? I'm not just like, I let like these feelings to keep me in this place on this point. So I always like trying to find a way, how can I, the things that is the passion. The passion is the secret.
Yara, you're nodding away because I'm sure you've had situations where you're like, I don't want to do this. This is too hard. You know, we've seen athletes who talk to themselves. You know, Cristiano Ronaldo is famous for that. He will literally be talking out loud on the pitch as he is about to kick a penalty. He's like, you're going to score. This is normal for you. Do you have things like that where you talk to yourself, or how do you deal with the fear?
Yeah, of course. Just like she was saying, it's definitely important to feel the emotions you're feeling, not to run away from them, because they're going to catch up to you, no matter how much you ignore them, and I'm sure you can relate to that as well. So it's definitely really important to feel how you're feeling. So for example, for me, I tore my ACL a few months ago, so I'm going through rehab right now, and there would be some days where I was so afraid of the pain I knew I was going to feel in my rehab session that I would try to avoid it, and I would start to feel the pain before we even did anything that could potentially cause me any pain. So I would have to, I also talked to a mental coach there as well, and she showed me I needed to feel what I was feeling, understand why I was feeling it, and then use that to sort of help myself. So I have breathing techniques. I also always speak to myself, as crazy as it sounds. I think everyone has spoken to themselves at one time or another, but it's definitely super, super important. I think self-talk is the most important thing, along with having a winner's mindset.
What do you say when you do self-talk? Because here's the thing.
It's a bit personal. No, I'm kidding.
It's not that crazy, because we all talk to ourselves. I mean, even if you don't do it out loud, I definitely do it out loud, but even if you're not doing it out loud, you're doing it in your head, right? And it's either positive or it's negative. It's never neutral, right?
Yeah.
And so what do you say? I'm super interested
I'll be very honest, and I'll give the good and the bad. So when I'm on the court and, for example, I'm down a break point and this is their chance to win a game, when I'm having a good day, a good mental day, I'll tell myself, it's okay, you've done this before, you've been here before, put every ball in the court, focus on the basics. If I'm having a not so good day, I'll say, that was a stupid mistake, you shouldn't do that. But normally the best outcomes I have is when I reassure myself and I go back to what I know. So negative self-talk is going to be worse for you than positive is. And it's super important to always, it's honestly better in my mind to say it out loud than it is to think it. I mean, it's obviously great to think it, but when you say it out loud, you can really believe it more.
Of course, exactly. You're nodding. Do you have something that you say as well to yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I did it a lot. Till now, I'm doing this thing. So especially like in the jumps, and when I want to try a new thing, like in the skydive or like training or in a competition, till now I feel like some feelings of like scared because it's, especially when I would try a new thing. But then I just ask myself, why I have to be afraid? So what's gonna happen? If the parachute is not opening, I have emergency one, so it will be open.
It's all good?
Yeah, this is like, I mean, like when you think about it, you say, like, what do you mean? Like the parachute will not be open? But like, I believe, like, I trust like myself, I trust that. So I just always say this word, why you have to be afraid? Just go and enjoy.
It's removing the barrier, isn't it? You know, Yara, you have also worked with some of the greatest in tennis as well. Rafa Nadal comes to mind. You've also met Djokovic as well. What have you learned from them about the winner's mindset? When you spend time with them, what have you taken as lessons from them?
Yeah, so I've definitely learned a lot. I had the privilege of living in Spain for 6 months and training at the Rafa Nadal Academy. And that's such a big blessing because I'm at the gym at the same time as Rafa. I'm on the same practice court as him, so I see the way he behaves and how strong he is and how dedicated he is, and I can viscerally see that, and that just like radiates off of him, and you can just feel it. And it's hard to explain, but when you have that feeling, it's like you can feel the mutual mindset that you both have. So definitely a big honor for that. Also with the global tennis tournaments coming to Riyadh, I had the privilege of meeting Djokovic, of meeting Medvedev, of even playing with Medvedev, and being on the court at the same time as them. It's just a surreal feeling. And you can feel that champion's mindset, that winning's mindset radiate off of them.
For you, is this something that is super important, who you surround yourself with in terms of developing that winner's mindset as well? Because like you said, it might be a singular thing for you to be on the court, but it's about the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone knows the saying, you are who you hang out with. So I don't necessarily have to be with athletes. I could be with people who are passionate about their own respective careers, their own life. Just around people who live healthy and active lifestyles is always going to be good for you if you're an athlete, or just people who are very motivated and are very focused on their craft. That'll radiate and everyone will feel that mutual motivation, and I think we'll work harder that way.
Is it also about making sure that you have those goals that are going to drive you further and further up? Like right now, what is motivating you? What is exciting you beyond the hard work, beyond the fear, beyond everything? What are you working towards?
Yeah, so that's a tough question. I think I'm working towards a lot of things right now. Besides my own personal goals of representing the kingdom at the highest stages in tennis, I want tennis to be a more played sport in the kingdom. I want more active communities for young kids to play tennis or sports in general. I just want to promote healthy and active lifestyles in the kingdom. That's my goal for my life, and then my personal goals is obviously tennis-wise, but also mainly recovering and getting my knee back to where it needs to be so I can be back on court.
We can't wait for that to happen because
I'm
we
super
love
excited.
seeing you out on the court. For you, Razan, as an entrepreneur and an athlete as well, how do you balance the risks and the rewards of pushing boundaries, both in extreme sports and in running your business as well?
So actually, it's hard sometimes to balance or to have like, because it's about the time. So if you have, like a business needs a time, the sport needs a time, because especially when I have competitions, when I have a training, so I need to give not only like a time, even like my, like I don't need to think about anything, just focusing like about even like preparing my body, like these things. So the things that's why I linked like all my business with the sport. So I make sure that I enjoy with it for the first thing. This is the most important thing. And the skydiving agency, the Saudi skydiving agency, it came because I'm a skydiver. And this is like, it's like a goal, a dream to like increase the sport, the skydiving sport knowledge here in Saudi Arabia, because it's a new sport. And when you say skydiving, they will say, hey, it's a dangerous sport. You will just like jump, and what's happened if I will die?
That's the first thing people think of.
Yeah,
I
always like, this is always the question, what's happened if the parachute will not open? What is gonna happen? Yeah, actually like the parachute that we use, it is a system.
Right.
So it's like we have two parachutes. We have the main, we have the emergency.
Yeah.
And there is even like a small device. If the main parachute, la samahallah, it doesn't open, and I don't have a control to open the emergency. So in specific altitude, this emergency parachute will open automatic. So this is like the things that like I feel it's like is my mission, my responsibility to show it to the people. It's a risky sport, but it's a safe sport. And how to balance like between between a sport and a business, to be honest, it's hard. So I need to like sometimes to forget to not like about the social life. I need to not go deep with it. So I'm just like focusing in my sport and my business.
It is about that dedication.
Yeah.
Because that is what a business needs. It needs your attention and dedication, and it's incredible. As we end off this session, I would love for you, as groundbreaking Saudi athletes, to give our audience and everybody who's going to be watching this session on YouTube or wherever they are going to see it, what are your final words for how to cultivate a winner's mindset? What would you say is the most important thing?
Oh, it's a tough one to break it down into a few things. For me, like I said in the beginning, I think it's about recognizing opportunities in front of you and working relentlessly to make the most of them. Having disciplines, having resilience, believing in yourself, also celebrating little wins along the way. I know that might sound cheesy, but it really helps keep you motivated. So I think these maybe 4 or 5 few steps will really put you on the right path to success.
Absolutely. Celebrate those wins. Make sure that you're propelling yourself, even if there's no one else around you. You have to be your biggest cheerleader, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Always believe in yourself, even if the odds are against you. There have been so many underdogs that have made it, so why can't you? That's how I like to think of it.
Love it. Razan?
Actually, it's like 2 things that I believe on them. Like the first one is like use the opportunity or the chance that you have it. The second thing, that do more than you think, always.
I love that. That is such a perfect place to end off on, because if this summit has taught us anything, it's that we are so much more capable of things that we didn't realize we were capable of. And it's because of women like yourselves who come on this stage and share your experiences and your stories. So Yara and Razan, thank you both so much. You're incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank
you so much.
our incredible speakers. Thank you.
Thank you so much.